So stand up and start. So we're gonna do it first. We're just gonna go back and forth. Let your arms move, lift your heels, and just go back and forth, back and forth. Let your body move. That's the important thing here. You don't have to take a whole step, but you're wanting your whole body to start to move so everything you do is a little bit easier. And then we're gonna come to a stop here. And then once we're there, you're gonna take your hands up to the sky. We're gonna do our skiers here, right? So you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back and down, put your belly to your thighs, sweep your hands back behind you. So your palms are face up, your thumbs are coming together. And then push like you're pushing through the mud, bring it back up. All right, do that 9 more times. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, 1. All right, now come back up here now. We're gonna come, you're gonna take your legs out super wide. We're gonna do our pinwheels. Move this back a little bit further back. Body. All right, so we're coming up. Now you're gonna take your right hand, bring it to your left ankle. Left hand goes up to the sky. And then rise back up. Do the same thing going the other way. Left hand to right ankle, come back up. So you want everything to stay straight here. Your back stays straight, your legs stay straight, your arms stay straight. So we're getting the maximum range of motion, opening up the whole body. All right, let's do 2 more on each side. Last one. And then let your hands come down. Now, bring your feet together here. I'm gonna come sideways. We're gonna do a couple more things standing just to finish warming up. So take your hands to your hips. What you're gonna do here, right? You're gonna step back. I'm gonna start with my right foot, right? I'm gonna step back with my right foot, I tap back, and I'm gonna come forward with that right foot and kick it forward, and then just drop it down, right? So it's back to that kick. Then you'll do the left side, tap, kick forward, drop it down. Now if the kick is hard for you, it could always be tap, 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 right? Or you switch sides to be tap, 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 tap. But if you can do the full kick, then do the full kick. So you're tapping all the way back in a little lunge. You take that same foot that you tap back with, you kick it forward, you drop that foot down, you switch feet. Tap, kick, drop it back in. We're just gonna do about 8 of these on each side. Make the body warm. You don't have to keep your hands on your hip. If you want to make it more, maybe your hands come up to the sky. Maybe they're at heart center, right? Easier, whatever feels good to you. Do 3 more. 3, 3, 2, 2. Last one. 1. And 1. Now, from here, right, we're just gonna do, you're gonna lift your right leg up, right? As you lift that right leg up, just tap the inside of your right knee with your left hand and set it down, the same with the left, right? So we're just coming up and down. You don't have to lift up. If you don't want to lift up, just lift your heels, and it can be like this. Right? If you can lift up, lift all the way up. 5 more on each side. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. Last one. 1 and 1. All right, now from here, you're gonna bend into your knees. We're gonna come into a squat. You can keep your hands on your hips like we did in the back skips. You can have your hands up to the sky, you can have your hands at our center, whatever works for you. You're gonna squat, so you're bending your knees, sending those hips back and down. You wanna make sure that your hips end up back behind you as you come down, so you should be able to look down and see your toes. Right now, as you come up, you're gonna take your right foot, kick it forward just like we did in the back tap kick, drop it down, squat again. Come back up, kick your left foot. Drop it down into your squat, right? It could be here, it could be here. Do 5 more on each side. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, last one, 1, and 1. All right, now come all the way up here. Last thing we're gonna do standing up, we're gonna do the TBEs. All right, so in a TBE, you're gonna sweep your hands up to the sky. Your hands go up to the sky, lift your heels, stretch it out, and then drop it back down. So it's just up and down. Lift the body up a little bit more. 5 more here. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, last one, 1. All right. It's gonna be a big box in the middle of my screen. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're gonna make our way down to the mat. So try to do it without using your hands. Maybe you can lift your heels and just drop straight down. Maybe you cross your feet and come down. Maybe you drop to one knee at a time. Right, we're gonna start to use our core a little bit, our belly. Now we're gonna move a little closer, so you guys can see. In, all right. Low. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, right? We're gonna start with, sorry, I'm trying to arrange the camera. There we go. Our hook line scoops. So you've got your feet on the ground, toes at the top of your mat, take your arms out long, make those fists with your hands, pull your elbows to your ribs, and then come down here, halfway, right? You want to feel that pull in your belly. You're not all the way down, you're not all the way up. You feel like you want to come all the way down or all the way up. Okay? So your elbows stay glued to your ribs, you're making those fists like you're holding a newspaper or a book in front of you, right? Now, you've got your chin tucked right now, you're looking at your belly. We're gonna come back up. As you come back up, press your belly to your thighs, lift your chin off your chest, look straight ahead. And then come back down, tuck your chin to your chest again, scoop it back down to that halfway point, looking at your belly. So we're just gonna go up and halfway down. That's the hook line scoops. Wake up that belly, wake up those hip flexors. We're gonna do 6 more here. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Push your belly all the way to your thighs. Belly up, knees into your chest, drive the forehead toward your knees. And come back up. Now here, right, once you've taken a little recovery, right, hug the shins, tips the forehead to the knees, right, you're gonna come back into a full boat. So you're gonna reach your hands forward. So you can't grab around your knees, but lift your feet. If you can't hold your feet in that position, then just kind of flex your feet and touch your toes to the ground, or the other way around, where your heels come to the ground. So you decide, if you can lift your feet, lift your feet. You're gonna bring your hands together over your knees. Now maybe you come down, maybe you make a little fist here, it doesn't matter, right? We're gonna twist. So you're gonna twist to the right, keep your knees where they are, just bring your hands outside your right leg. We're gonna hold here for 4 more breaths. So you're just holding, just holding. You'll feel it, don't worry. Now come around to the opposite side. So now your hands are outside your left thigh. Just hold here, and we're gonna hold here for 4 more breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1 more breath. And then bring your hands back in front of you. Now let your feet come to the ground. And then one more time, you're gonna push your belly to your thighs, hug around the shins, tuck your chin to your chest, drive your forehead towards your knees. Now when you're ready here, we're gonna come back up into boat, right? So your hands are gonna go long, you're lifting your feet up, right? We're gonna go here from boat into canoe, right? So in canoe, you extend your legs long, so your heels hover over the mat, your shoulders hover over the mat. This is a really low canoe here that I'm doing, right? You can make it higher the higher your feet come, the easier it is. So find your spot where it's okay, right? You can hold it, but it's challenging. Now we're gonna pull it back up into boat. So you bend your knees, you pull it back up, right? You go boat to canoe. Now if you wanna make it easier, right, you can give yourself a little assist on the way up, grab behind your legs and pull yourself up into boat. If you need that, do it. You can also take your legs higher, like I talked about. We're gonna do it 8 more times. That's a lot, right? You're gonna hate me by the last one, but it's okay, right? So here we go. Come down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Just 4 more. Down, up, down, up. 2 more. Down, up. Last one. Down and up. Right now, let your feet come down if they're not already. Push your belly to your thighs, hug around your shins, tuck your chin to your chest, take that release. When we come into this position, right, we're releasing those hip flexors that worked, we're releasing the low back that worked. Trying to make it so that those are releasing, those aren't kicking in too badly. We really get to work in the belly, which is what we want here. All right, so now this time we're gonna come back into boat, right? You're gonna come down to canoe, just like you did, right? But then once you're down in canoe, see if you can take your arms overhead. Maybe you open them wide, your palms facing each other, so in that hollow butt. Again, you could be in high canoe. The higher your feet come, the easier this is. We're gonna hold it, right? So find a place where you can hold it for 4 more breaths. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Bring it all the way up into boat. And then one more time, let your feet come down, hug around your shins, tuck your chin to your chest. All right, so we just have one more thing to do here, and then a little boat sequence, right? You're gonna come back into your boat like we did before, right? Feet lift, hands are reaching forward. You can have your feet on the ground if you need to. Your palms are together, either palm to palm or in those fists. We're gonna do those twists again, but this time we're not gonna hold. We're gonna move back and forth. So you're gonna take both hands outside your right leg, take them all the way up, bring them outside your left leg. It's like you're rowing your boat. Just go back and forth. Keep your legs in one place, right? Your legs aren't twisting, just your torso. So you're turning your whole chest to the right, taking around, turning your whole chest to the left. Back to the right, back to the left. Just do it 4 more times each side. Row the boat. 2 more times each side. Last one. And you can put your feet down, bring your belly to your thighs, hug around your knees, tuck your chin to your chest, drive your forehead towards your knees. And then come back up. All right, now from here, next. All right, let's come all the way down. I know what I was gonna do next, but I'm gonna give our legs and our hip flexors a little bit of a break first. We're gonna do some work from our back. So take your arms that long, tuck your chin to your chest, come all the way down to your leg on your back. All right, take your feet up to the sky here. All right, and then first, you're just gonna take your arms overhead, reach your fingertips towards the back of the room, really flex your feet so your heels are going up towards the ceiling. Now you're just gonna peel your upper body up, reach your fingertips towards your toes. So your shoulders and your head are lifting off the mat. We're just gonna pulse here at first, right? So you reach up, but not all the way down. So pulse, pulse, pulse. Do it 10 more times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let yourself come all the way down. Take your arms overhead. Keep your feet up to the sky. Okay. Here, we did that one. We did this last week, I think. But it's a good one. You're going to take your right heel, drop it down till it just hovers the mat. And then you're going to peel up. As you peel up, your right fingertips are going to reach towards your left toes, the ones that are still up. And your left hand is going to reach outside your left thigh towards the front of the room, right? Both shoulders are off the ground. And then you're going to take both arms overhead, pull that right leg back up. Now go the other way, drop that left heel down, let it hover, peel your head and shoulders up, reach your right hand or your left hand towards your right toes, reach your right hand outside your right thigh. Bring everything, bring your arms overhead, bring that left foot back up. So we're just gonna go back and forth here. Right leg drops, right hand lifts, bring it all back. Left foot drops, left hand lifts, bring it all back. So just go back and forth here. I'm gonna do it 4 more times. 4, 4, 3, 3. I just thought I was on. 2, 2. Last one. 1. And 1. All right, now bring everything up here. Now you're gonna bend your knees. Keep your hands to the crease of your knees. Rock yourself up here. We're gonna rock up into a hook line. Now, I'm gonna try to turn here, hopefully I have enough space. We're gonna do a little spiral work, right? So you're gonna be in hook line. You're gonna take your hands up to the sky. Now, you're gonna start to lean over to the right. So you're gonna come down, so think about leaning to the right. You want your shoulder to come down to the ground first, then your elbow, then your palm, right? So now your right arm is extended. You're gonna bring your knees together so they're just hovering the mat, right? And then kick your legs out straight. As you do that, reach your left hand over, so your left hand is just hovering over your right. Right, then from there, you're gonna take that left hand back up, then back into your knees, so like this, right? And then push into your right palm, so you can bring it all back up into boat or into hook line, right? Then we're gonna go the other way. So you start to lean to the left, let your left shoulder come down, let your left elbow come down, let your left palm come down. Knees are gonna hover over the mat and they kick straight out to the left, and then take your right hand, reach it towards the top of your left hand. Okay? And then bend back into your knees, take that right hand up to the sky, push into your left hand, and bring yourself back up. All right, so we're gonna do that. Do it 4 more times on each side, all right? So I kind of angled myself weird. I want to make sure you guys can see me, but then I know when I'm lying down, it's all feet. But we're gonna come here, right? Lift your feet. If you can lift your feet and do this from boat, let's do it from boat. If you need to keep your feet down on the ground as you come around, then you can do that, right? But I'm gonna lean to the right, shoulder, elbow, palm, kick my feet out to the right, left hand reaches towards the right hand. Left hand goes straight back up to the sky, bend back into your knees so your knees don't ever touch the ground. Bring it back up into your boat or to your hook line. Go the other way, right? Start to lean to the left, drop your left shoulder, left elbow, left palm, hover your knees, kick your legs out straight, reach your right hand to the left. Right hand comes back up, bend back into your knees, push back up into boat or hook line. Right, so we're gonna do that 3 more times each way. So go to the right, shoulder, elbow, palm, kick the feet out, reach the left hand. Take the left hand up, bend back into the knees, push yourself back into boat or hook line. Go to the left, shoulder, elbow, palm, drop the legs, kick them out, reach the right hand goes up, bend back into the knees, push the left palm, bring it back up. So we're gonna do it, I don't even remember what I said, 3 more times each way, right? To the right, bring it back up, to the left, out, reach over, bring it back up. 2 more times, lean to the right, shoulder, elbow, palm, kick the legs out, reach the left hand, bring the left hand back up, bend to the knees, back up to boat or hook line, to the left, shoulder, elbow, palm, drop the knees, kick them out, reach back up, bend the knees, come back up to boat. Twice more each way, to the right, to the left, last one, to the right, and then to the left. Bring it all back up, and then let your feet go to the ground. Hug around your knees again, tuck your chin. All right, so those were fun, right?
No, not at all.
They started out kind of fun, and then by the end, you're like, okay, I'm done with these. All right. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna come to a plank. All right, so you can be in modified plank as we start out here with your knees down on the ground, but you want your shoulders over your wrists. You want one straight line from your shoulders to your knees, right? So this is me in a modified plank. If I'm coming to full plank, I tuck my toes under with my knees, so my hips land just below my shoulders, but my shoulders are still right over the wrists. All right, now from here, you're gonna take your right leg, lift it up, so maybe you're doing this from your knees, it looks like this, right? You're lifting that right leg up, bring your right knee to your right elbow, send it back, and you're gonna do it on the left. All right, so I'm gonna come back up to my toes. I'm gonna do it 4 more times on each side, right? It's just knee to elbow, knee to elbow, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Twice more, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Last one, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Now, this time, you're gonna pick up your right leg and bring it forward. So you're here, right, or you're here. But then what you've got to do from here, right, you're gonna turn your right toes towards the left side of the room, or of your mat, right? So you're hovering right here. Your knees not on the ground. I just want you to hold here, 2 more breaths. And then drop that right knee right down next to your wrist. Let your right foot come down. Let your left knee drop. We're not going into full pigeon, right? We'll do that later. When we stretch, what you're gonna do, you're gonna come into pigeon position, move that right knee, left knee back so that your left hip comes towards your right heel. Now push up, take your arms out really wide. You wanna be on your fingertips here, so you look like this. And we're gonna do 4 pigeon push-ups. That means you bend your elbows, bring your head down to the mat, push it back up. All right, do that 3 more times. 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, you're gonna bring your hands back in, right, get them into that plank position. So you're starting to walk your left knee forward, get to where your shoulders right over your wrists, and then you're gonna tuck those left toes under, come up off your left knee, and just pick your right knee up. Set your right foot back down next to the left, so you came back to plank. All right, so we're gonna do that again. We're gonna start with the left knee this time. So you're just bringing your left knee to your left elbow, sending it back. Take your right knee to your right elbow, send it back. If you're doing it from your knees, it looks like this. Knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Do 4 more like that. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, last one, 1. Now you're back in plank. Lift up your left leg, bring your left knee to your left elbow, but then turn those left toes in towards the right side of your mat. So this hovering pigeon, just hold it for 3 breaths. And then take that left knee, drop it down by the left wrist, let your left foot come down, drop your right knee, work it back to pigeon position. You're drawing that right knee back so that your right hip comes towards your left heel. And then once you're in that position, take your arms out wide, and those fingertips, right, making those cupcake hands. Bend into your elbows, drop your forehead to the mat. Push it back up. All right, let's do that twice more. Up, down, push up. Down, and push up. Right now, from here, you're gonna bring your hands back in, right? So that they're shoulder width is apart, tuck your right toes under, move that right knee in so you can bring your shoulders right over your wrists. Then lift your right knee all the way up off the mat, take that left foot, step it back into plank. All right, and just hold your plank, 3 breaths. Drop those knees down. Now flatten your feet. Just shift it back to child's pose for a breath. Let yourself take a little recovery. And then from there, we're going to bring it back into tabletop this time, right? So tabletop is hands and knees pose. Looks like this. Now, here's what we're gonna do once we're back in tabletop. You're gonna take your right leg, extend it long behind you. First, just press those toes into the mat. Press the heel towards the back wall, or towards the back of your mat, right? Maybe there's no wall there. But you're gonna lift that right leg up once you're ready into a spinal balance position. So that means is it hip level, your toes are towards the ground, your knees towards the ground, your right hip is towards the ground. Shoulders still right over the wrist, pushing away from the hands. Right, pushing with the hands away from the mat so your core is engaged. Now, here's what we're gonna do here. You're gonna bend your elbows straight back behind you. Touch your forehead to the mat here. Let your right leg lift up really high, keep it straight, lift it high. Right, and then push yourself back up. Now, as you push up here, bend into your right knee. Touch your right knee to your right elbow. And then extend it long again. Take the push up, lift up. Bring your elbow to your knee to your elbow. Extend long. So we're gonna do that 6 more times. Okay? So we come down, come up, knee to elbow. Extend it long. Come down, push up, knee to elbow. Let's do 3 more here. 3, 2, last one. And then take that right knee, drop it back to tabletop. Shift to child's pose if you want for a breath. Get off those wrists. And when you're ready, come back to tabletop. We're gonna do that 1 more time on the other side. Right, so here we come to our tabletop. You're gonna extend your left leg long. So your toes are pressing into the mat. Extend that leg all the way. Get your shoulders right over your wrist. Make sure your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Lift your left leg up to hip level. Left toes towards the ground, left knee towards the ground, left hip towards the ground. Right, and then we're gonna take our push up at first. So you bend your elbows, let them go straight back behind you. Drop your forehead or your chin to the mat. Lift that left leg up really high as you come down, right? That's gonna help you. And then push into your palms, come back up. Now bend into your left knee, touch it to your left elbow. Then extend it long again. So push up. Tap the knee. Push up. Tap the knee. We're gonna do it 5 more times. 4 more times. 3 more times. 2 more. Last one. And then drop that left knee down next to the right. Shift back into your child's pose. All right, from here, bring it back up. You're gonna take it into tabletop one more time. Now this time as we come to tabletop, you're gonna drop down to your forearms, right? So you're coming down, you want your shoulder to be right over your elbow, fingertips are reaching forward. So hopefully you guys can see my fingertips are reaching towards the top of my mat. I'm not yet coming here where I bring my hands together and make that little triangle. We're gonna do that in a second, but right now, right, your hands should be making that little number 11 at the top of your mat. Now, from here, maybe you gotta stay here, right? In this kind of forearm tabletop with your hips over your knees, right? If you can, maybe you walk your knees back a little bit and you're here in a forearm plank, right? Just like a regular plank, we've got our shoulders over the elbows and one straight line from the shoulders to the knees. Maybe you can tuck your toes under and come up into your full plank. Find your spot. Just hold for 3 breaths. Now, from here, if you're on your knees, right, for any reason, now you're gonna tuck your toes under. You're gonna lift up off your knees, but as you lift up, you get to push your hips back. So you're kind of like in a forearm down dog right now, right? And then once you've lifted your feet up, walk them back in. What you want is to get to a place where your shoulders come back over your elbows. Now, you're looking back at your toes, but your head's not touching the mat, your head's above the mat, right? So now we're in a full dolphin. The closer you walk your feet to your hands, the harder this gets. Now look up at your thumbs. Now bring your hands together. Make that fist. You're making a little triangle, right? And then from there, you're gonna shift back, right? So push back with your hands. So your head comes between your shoulder blades, right? And then you're gonna push with your toes, push forward, bring your chin over your knuckles, and then come back, head back between the shoulder blades. All right, so we're gonna try to do that 8 times. Dolphin shifts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then drop your knees down. Let yourself come back to child's pose. Whew. Dolphin's not my favorite, but we've got to do it every once in a while. All right, now when you're ready, come back up to tabletop. This time, as we come up to our tabletop, right now we're gonna take our hips down to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you. And we're gonna do a little more traditional Pilates from our back here, right? So you've got your knees up to the sky, take your arms long, tuck your chin, round it down so you're using your core strength to bring it down and not just flopping yourself down. All right, and then from there, you're gonna lift your legs up into floating tables, right? So floating table means my knees are right over my hips, my calves are parallel to the ground. Now, we're gonna do our heel taps here. You can lift your head and shoulders if you want to, reach your fingertips forward, do it like this, or you can let your head and shoulders relax down. Easier, obviously, with the head and shoulders down, a little harder with them up. You decide what level you want today. Really flex your feet so your toes are coming back towards your face. We're gonna keep this perfect L shape in the legs, right? And you're just gonna take your right heel, drop it down to the mat and give it a little tap, tap. So see how my leg didn't change shape, right? I didn't extend my leg and I didn't bring my heel towards my glute, right? So it's not here, and it's not here, right? You just kept that L shape, you drop it down till it's here. So it's a little tap, tap, then you pull that right leg back up. Do the same with the left leg. Tap it down, tap, tap, pull it back up. So just do alternating sides here. Tap, tap, pull it up. tap, tap, pull it up. When your knee comes up, it stops right at floating table, meaning right over the hips. So you don't want to end up here with your knees all the way in, right? So we're going to do that 8 more times on each side. So 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, last one, 1, and 1. Now this time as you come up, if you had your head and shoulders up, let them come down, take your knees, hug them into your chest for a breath. We're gonna do that again, but this time we're gonna do it with both feet, right? This is a little bit harder. Bring your legs back to floating table again. If you wanna keep your head and shoulders down for this one, you can. If it feels okay, lift them up, right? Now, you can make a Pilates V with your feet. That means you bring your heels together and your toes are going out to the side, so make that little V with your feet, or you can just keep your feet parallel to each other, up to you, right? Again, you can lift your head and shoulders, or you can keep your head and shoulders down. And then from there, you're gonna move both legs together. Just take the legs down, tap, tap, hold them back up. Tap, tap, hold them back up. All right, 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. As you get back up, let your head and shoulders come down, you had them up, pull your knees all the way into your chest, hug them in. All right, so we're gonna do one more thing from floating table here. You're gonna bring your legs out to that floating table. Knees over the hips, calves parallel to the ground, right? And then maybe you lift your head and shoulders, maybe you keep your head and shoulders down. All we're gonna do here, right? You can make a Pilates V again with the heels together, toes going out to the sides, or you can keep your feet parallel. You're gonna kick your legs out straight. Now the lower you drop them, the harder this is, right? Now I'm basically in a canoe, right? And again, like a canoe, I can take them higher, be a higher angle, but you're gonna bend back into just your knees, bring them back, right to that floating table. So that's the key here, right? Don't pull your knees all the way back in, don't let your hips lift up, right? So kick your legs out straight, bring them back to floating table. Kick them straight, right back to floating table. 8 more like that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right now, let your head and shoulders come down. Take your knees into your chest. All right, from here, we're gonna take our feet straight up to the sky. We did these maybe a week or 2 ago, right? We're gonna do a hip up into a SoCal sit up, right? So what does that mean? You're gonna take your hands to your sides, right? So at the beginning, your head and shoulders are down on the mat. You're gonna push your palms into the mat. You're really gonna flex your feet. Imagine that you're gonna kick your feet straight up to the ceiling. It's not gonna work perfectly like that. They're gonna come back a little bit. That's okay, right? But you don't wanna swing them way back. So what I'm trying to do is lift my hips up off the ground so my feet come towards the ceiling. So I'm gonna use my arms to do that. I'm gonna push my triceps, my palms, back of my head into the mat, right? Kick up, and then bring your hips down, right? Now, if I really let my legs swing back, right, use the momentum of my legs, ooh, I could swing way back there, right? But it's not about that. We're trying to go straight up. Now, when you come straight up with those hip ups, right, you might not get very high. You might just look like this. Your hips are just kind of lifting off the mat, but you're not getting all the way. It's okay. That's what you're gonna do. You're still gonna feel that tightening in your belly as you try to push them up. And that's what we want here, right? You don't actually come up, right? If you do come up, make sure you're controlling it on the way down, right? I'm gonna push up, I'm gonna control it on the way down because I don't wanna slam my hips back into the mat. All right, so that's the hip up. All right, so try one here, lift up, see what happens. Bring it back down. Now as you bring it back down, you're gonna take your feet. Your feet are gonna come to the ground. They're gonna come a little bit wider so that your pinky toes line up with the edges of your mat, and then you pull yourself up, tap your hands in between your feet, right? And then you come, take it all the way back down, hands to the sides, kick your legs back up, go back, and do a hip up. So your hip up, sit up. Hip up. Sit up. All right, you guys got it down. You guys look like you're doing it. Let's do it 8 more times. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. All right, and then come back up. Reach your arms out long. Take it all the way down. All right, now as we come down here, take your feet straight back up to the sky, right? So now you're just flexing your feet. They're gonna step on the ceiling. Lift your head and shoulders up like you're about to do the hundreds, right? So your fingertips are reaching forward, your palms are facing the ground. Now, all you're gonna do here, right? Draw your right shoulder back and reach your left shoulder forward. So it's like you're trying to reach a bar that's just in front of your hips with your left hand, right? And then pull that left shoulder back. Now take that right shoulder forward, reach with your right hand, and pull it back. So you're just gonna go back and forth here. Your feet are gonna stay right over your hips. Flex your feet like you're stepping in the ceiling. Keep them steady, that's part of it, right? Reach with the left, come back. Reach with the right, come back. Reach, reach. 8 more on each side. 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. Last one. 1 and 1. Now let your head and shoulders come down. Take your knees, hug them in to your chest. All right. What do I want you to do here? Right? Take your arms out super wide. So your palms are on the ground, your fingers are coming straight out of your shoulder blades. Take your feet straight up to the sky, right? And now take your feet as wide as you possibly can, right? So push your heels up towards the ceiling, right? Legs are as wide as they can be, right? And then you're gonna keep your, I'm start by going to the left, just so you guys can see my left side. I'm gonna keep my left hand planted to the mat. I'm gonna keep my feet right where they are. I'm just gonna take that right hand, peel it up, reach your right fingertips over towards the left, right? So it's not gonna reach the toes. Well, if you can, that's great, right? If I really put my hand down, it's right here on the inside of my left knee, that's okay, right? It's about peeling that right shoulder up, right? Everything on the left side is gonna stay anchored. Your feet stay exactly where they are. Now take your right hand, bring it back, put your palm down, so you open back up. Then you're gonna peel the left shoulder up, reach towards your right toes, and then peel it back down. So we're just gonna go back and forth here. Lift your right hand towards your left leg, come back down. Put your left hand towards your right leg, come back down. 8 more each side. 8. 8. You're gonna start to feel this in your inner thighs as your legs stay steady, right? Try to bend your knees or turn your legs in. All right, 5 more here. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. Last one. 1 and 1. All right, now keep your legs nice and wide, but now you're gonna take your hands up and you're gonna grab onto the inside of your legs. I'm grabbing kind of right around my knee right now. Maybe you can get up to your calf, or maybe you can even get up to your foot. But you're kind of taking your hands to the inside, grab as much to the outside of your leg as you can, and then turn them out a little bit more, right? So now you're giving yourself a a little bit more support. You can open those legs a little wider, stretching out those inner thighs. Just take 3 breaths here. And then from there, take your hands, now bring them to the outside of your legs, and then bend into your knees. Let your heels drop towards your glutes, and then just rock it up to seated. All right, once you're up to seated, you're gonna take your legs out wide, again, but bring your shoulders over your hips. So come over here so you guys can see. All right, now, we're gonna fold here. We're gonna fold over each leg, right? So we're gonna start by going to the right. Take your hands so that they're on either side of your right thigh, right? You're gonna stay in that same position, right? You want your knees up to the sky, your toes up to the sky. Don't let everything fall out, right? And you're just gonna walk over that right leg. So you're walking your hands forward, your chest is totally turned towards your right leg. If you come all the way down, your nose would come towards your knee. But think about your left hip, right? You don't want your left hip to lift. If I walk too far forward, see my left hip starts to lift and I'm turning to the right? I don't want that to happen. So when you feel like your left hip is starting to lift up off the mat, that's gonna be your stopping point, right? Maybe when your hands are just by your knee or your thigh, that's okay, right? Maybe you can go all the way down and you can grab onto your toes without that left hip lifting. If that's you, then go for it, right? But if your hands are just further up your leg, that's fine. For 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, walk it all the way up. And you're gonna bring it around towards your left leg. All right, so now you're turning that torso towards the left leg, right? And then walk it out here. Walk as far forward as you can. You're gonna feel it, right? When that left or that right hip starts to lift. I can feel it here because it happens to me sooner when I'm on the left side than it does when I'm on the right. So you can see on the right side, I can grab my toes here. I can't really grab, if I really grab my toes, I gotta let that hip lift. So I'm not going to, right? My hands are just on my ankle. Maybe they're on either side of my leg near my ankle. But your back stays flat. You're bringing that chest right over the left thigh. Nose towards the knee. 3 more breaths. And then bring yourself all the way back up here. Now just bring your hands to the center and just do a straight up wide-legged forward fold here. Keep your back nice and flat. Just walk your hands as far forward as you can without rounding that back. Like you bring your chest right to the ground. Maybe you can get your elbows to the ground. If you can, go for it. If you only brought your palms a few inches forward, that's okay. Some of you maybe can get down to your chest and your head, not me, right? But if that's your body allows for that, then go for it. You want to feel the stretch in your inner thighs. The part that we worked when we got those legs open and up in the air. Now we're stretching. 3 more breaths here. And then slowly walk yourself back up. As we come back up here, now we're gonna come into a pigeon, right? So you're gonna bend into your right knee. You're gonna bring that right knee across the front of your mat, right? And then take that left knee, lean to the right. You're gonna swing that left leg all the way around behind you. Let your right hip lift. So you're gonna come up and just like I always tell you guys, you're gonna drop that left hip towards your right heel. So maybe you gotta walk that left knee back a little bit, right? Bring your hands inside your right knee. So you want your hands between your right shin and your right ankle, right? We're not opening up wide like we did when we were doing those push-ups, right? Push up here at first and then let yourself come down as far as you can. Maybe that just means you walk your hands a little bit forward, right? Maybe you can come down to your elbows. Some of you can probably come all the way down to your chest and your head. You want that lift in the right hip. My right hip is not on the ground, right? If anything, you're leaning to the left, you're pressing that left hip down further, right? You want to feel that sensation in the right leg. So take 4 breaths here. ready. Bring it back up to your palms. Right. And then you can tuck those left toes under. What we're going to do here, right? You're just going to bring that left knee forward a little bit so you can slide that right leg back. Bring it into a tabletop, and then just take a breath or two. Move that right leg around, right? Maybe you take an extended long again, pressing through that heel, opening the calf and the knee. Maybe you make some little fire hydrant circles, moving that right knee around so that your right hip opens a little more, right? Get that blood flow back in the right leg. And then when you're feeling good again, drop it down into tabletop. Now let's do that on the left side. So here's how we're going to get into pigeon now. You're just going to draw that left knee up to your left wrist like we did, right? So we're not hovering this time, I guess. But you're going to walk those left toes across towards the right edge of your mat. As much as you can, keep your hands to the inside of your left knee. Tuck those right toes under circle. Walk that right knee back so you can drop your right hip towards your left heel. Like I said, make sure your hands are in between your left knee and your left ankle. Push up and look up, and then let yourself come all the way down as much as you want to. Coming all the way down might mean your hands move forward a couple inches. Might mean you're laying your head on the mat. You can see it better right on this side. My left hip is not on the ground, right? I don't want to lean to the left. That's going to take the stretch out of it. If anything, I'm going to lean to the right, press my right hip further towards my left heel. Get that stretch in the left hip. More breaths here. You're ready. Come back up to your palms. Tuck your right toes under. Move that right knee forward so you can slide your left knee back to your tabletop. And then just like we did on the other side, right, move that left leg around a little bit. Maybe it extends long. Doing some fire hydrant circles. Just get that blood flowing back through the left leg. All right? And then when you're feeling good again, we're going to finish off with our legs up the wall. Right? So you're going to let your hips come to one side or the other. Right? If you have the wall space and you want to put a hip right against the wall and swing it up, right? You can do that. You're coming up the wall, right? You want your hips as close to the wall as you can get them so that your legs literally rest on the wall, right? And then you flex your feet, let the blood go from your feet to where it pools back to your head and heart where you need it more. Now, if you don't have a wall space to do that on, then you're just laying in the center of your mat, and keeping your feet straight up to the sky like we did multiple times today. But this time, just keeping your head and shoulders down and letting everything relax. You get that same benefit, blood going from the feet back to the head and the heart. So we always finish off this pose. It's very relaxing. It's got great benefits for us. In addition to that increased circulation, we also naturally lower our blood pressure, flood the body with anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. We reset our circadian rhythm, our sleep cycle. All good things happen when we get a little bit upside down. Then when we're ready to come out of this, we're going to bend the knees and scrape right along facing body. Slowly drop your feet back down to the mat. Once your feet are back down on the mat, just let yourself roll to one side or the other. And then come back up. All right. That was our Pilates for today. All right. So I hope you guys have a great Christmas, right? I guess we're going to skip next week, so I won't see you. I'll send an email. Maybe we'll do it the week in between Christmas and New Year's if we can find a time.
We'll need it by then.
Yeah, exactly. We can find a time that works for everybody. I'll put this one up on YouTube later, and I'll send you all the link, okay?
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
Tell Marilee I hope she has a fast recovery.
I will. I definitely will. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.